This is Unofficially Official. I'm Starr Miller, and
I'm Mayor Mike.
we want to welcome you to our podcast where we fully intend to educate you on all things local. We're back, and we wanted to talk more about the Morgan Street Trail. We spoke of it the last podcast, mainly
This
about
recording,
the trees being massacred.
just for everybody's information, this recording is where we haven't picked a topic that we're doing like 20 minutes to 30 minutes. We've picked what I would consider a bunch of quick hitters.
Yeah.
Just a bunch of
Rapid fire.
general information. We're going to give you some stuff, not a whole lot of
Right.
Honestly,
Honestly,
meat on
the
the
conversation we had, again, before recording is
Oh, yeah.
yeah.
Those are not arrowable.
But what about the Morgan Street Trail? The trees really are coming down as we record.
We
this.
did. We talked about it, and we talked about.
I
I think
all black for that.
I think it was originally supposed to start on the 7th or 9th. And that didn't happen as quick, which was good because it did allow us to send letters up to all those people along the route to say, hey, by the way, this is really getting ready to happen. And if you have questions or concerns or feel like we need to have a meeting to kind of update you,
that's nice.
we'll gladly do that. And so today, which is St. Patrick's Day, is when we're actually recording this. I saw them as I was coming to work. They were getting ready to start the process. So
Yeah,
the
I saw them
chippers
coming
and
in.
excavators and chainsaws were all lined up, ready to go. So I'm sure they're...
Even at a crisp, cool 19 degrees, which is what it is as we record this.
And here's kind of a fun fact that people, they don't get to appreciate this is when people come to Starr and say, hey, by the way, what are they doing with the trees at the courthouse? And she says, what are you, crazy? That's Morgan Street. And then come to find out she comes to town and says, what happened to the trees at the courthouse? And so we're going to let Kyle, the elected official from the county, give a little bit of conversation about the courthouse and its trees.
The county mayor.
Yeah, I mean, it's not just the city who cuts down trees.
Tell us about it, Kyle.
I get introduced on that one. No, it's basically the part of the exterior renovation of the courthouse. Some improvements, some of the overgrown shrubs and everything have all been, or in the process of being ripped out that are just completely overgrown and not taken care of.
Yeah.
So it was the goal to, these were Bradford pear trees.
Which are invasive.
Invasive. They look good.
They don't.
They just don't really. Yeah.
I'm gonna chop mine down.
So they are now completely down.
Everywhere I've ever lived, I have planted Bradford pear trees. That's the truth. If you'll look over on 10th Street, there are 5 of them.
Somehow that doesn't surprise me.
I feel terrible. I really do. Go ahead.
So they are. There's going to be more of like a kind of a courtyard gathering space out front, patio area. That will
Are they
be
taking
out
out?
front.
Are they? And this is a serious question. Are they taking out the steps on Main Street?
What does that mean? You mean onto the sidewalk?
Yeah,
Like the
because
steps down?
yeah,
Okay,
exactly.
yeah.
So I think that there was they've gone and removed from the steps towards the courthouse.
Yes.
And my question is, are they going?
I don't know
They
if they're
probably
going to
just
put
have
something back in there.
Yeah.
I don't know. I really don't. I know
We'll
they've been.
expect you to have that information in the next segment, Kyle.
I'm going to Google
For
it
the
right
record,
now.
for the record, that is your county elected.
The abuse I
And
get
I
all
feel
day
like
long.
I think it looked like there had been so many trees taken down, but honestly, there weren't that
about
many.
6 or 8.
Yeah, I was going to say, kind of just surrounding the
But
whole.
all the concrete's getting redone. So,
It
you know,
needs
some people
redone.
ask why the concrete steps were being redone on, say the north side or the east side or
Because
whatever.
it's a county courthouse that is how old?
It is
How old is the county
100
courthouse? 165 years old.
I think it's 1896.
I don't do math or numbers.
I don't remember.
That sounds like a good made-up number that we can
I
roll
think
with.
that is not true.
Oh,
But it needs renovations.
It does.
And this
It
is my
does.
opinion just from covering local news over the years. It is often an establishment, if you will, that gets overlooked to have repairs done in that extremity. What are you both doing Googling things right now?
We're trying to find out
Both
who's
got on their
closest.
phones and just left me.
Well, we found that we can leave for a decent amount of time, and you'll just keep
entertain
talking.
myself.
how old do you think the courthouse is?
I think it's
said
165
1896.
years old. Did you get that, listener? At the same time.
The mayor
Okay.
was correct on that one.
Dang it. So how many years is that? I still don't even know the number.
That's a lot.
Look, Kyle doesn't even know. And he's
Mayor,
like,
were you still mayor? Was that your first year in office?
Oh, and she's so cute.
He circled back.
She's so cute.
Okay, but back to the Morgan Street Trail. So the trees are coming down. Then what's the next thing? Sidewalks are getting
Yeah,
ripped up.
they'll start taking out the sidewalks
Yeah.
and then start putting back in the new trails.
But the
And
road doesn't have to be closed at all during this time. I mean, other than
Very minimally.
Right, okay,
Definitely
yeah.
on the east side
you're
of the
not
street.
deferring
but
traffic. It's
no.
just when the equipment's in the road.
correct.
When they're sawing down the old growth
And
trees
then-
that are not Bradford pear trees.
And we're trying to coordinate some lighting changes that go along there, and so it'll.
Yeah.
I think it will.
You mentioned that last time when I made that face. They're like the lights actually kind of shine down
Yep.
rather than
Yep. Yep.
add to the light pollution of this country.
It will be. This is going to be one of those projects that people will look at and go, And
It's
then
going to
they'll
look
go,
way worse before it looks better.
Right.
That is
and
for
then
sure.
when it's done, I think people will look and say, you know what, I can't imagine what
I
it
don't
was
even
like
need
before.
those trees anymore. Is that what you think
Well,
we'll say?
they're going to put trees back.
They
so.
really are, yeah.
But
And not just like the way they were before either, right? Because
Right.
the
They're gonna
areas,
be
the space is going to
strategically
change.
placed.
Yeah, yeah.
And here's something that people don't.
Urban development.
So I ran into a couple this weekend that live along the trail, and I said, "Are they going to come in and cut down my tree?" And I said, "Yeah, they're going to." And they were like, "Oh yes, great, thanks. We don't have to." And I was like, "Perfect." And then here's the twist, and we'd appreciate if you don't put trees back. And I was like, "Ooh." So you have people who say,
Sure. I mean,
you need to put trees back, but then there's certain residents who are like, I can really
well,
live
the
without
thing
a
is,
tree.
the trees have been there longer than the people around it, right? But I mean, yeah.
I did have one
unfortunately.
person reach out Friday night, and this is where we answer our phone at all hours.
That's right.
But Friday
Kyle's
night-
personal cell
I don't
phone
if
number
Kyle
is
calls me.
765.
Mayor never answers my call. That's weird. Just figured that out. No, but he was actually kind of. He didn't really want to see the trees gone, but his either his water or sewer was under there,
That's the thing.
and
yeah.
he was kind of excited that it was
These
coming
old,
out.
I mean, they're kind of old growth trees that have been there for so long with a root system that goes where it wants to go because it's nature.
Usually trying to find water.
That's where we say no.
So there was just a little bit of an update on the Morgan Street Trail and the courthouse.
He really,
so
he
we
said that's
are
the end of
not
that
talking anymore about the Morgan Street Trail.
I'm ready to transition to something new. I said this was quick hitting, and
How long? Okay, how long is this project really going to take, though? Do we think? Like
it'll
just
take this year.
Significant
a
completion.
year?
Significant completion in November, and then I'm guessing they
this
probably
season.
won't plant trees.
Oh, okay, yeah. I thought
Until
you
the
meant
spring.
like next spring it would be ready.
With you being married to a farmer, I thought you'd understand the growing season.
Josh was like, I'm not a farmer. I dig ditches.
And speaking of conduit under the sidewalk,
If he's
Yeah.
not a farmer, tell him I would like for him to give me the land.
Line up. Okay. Do we have anything else to say about that, Kyle?
that's all
I
I
don't
had
know
to
why I
say
asked
about
Kyle.
that.
I think we were going to talk about Marketplace on Morgan
Oh, yeah,
next.
yeah,
That
yeah.
is what used to be the Two Thrifty Girls.
Or if you're older than that, it used
Christian
to be.
values.
Wow, you took that right off.
And if you're older than that, it used to be Who's Your Dairy?
Whoa.
Yeah, Who's Your Dairy was in there.
What does that
The
mean? What
mayor had a dairy in the city.
Right.
Mm.
That's going to be nice, though, because that building has sat just for a little bit, not doing anything.
Yeah. And so we're working with the Art Association. We're working with Heart of Rushville. Probably at some point work with the Chamber of Commerce. Work with a lot of people on where that ends up.
Business owners around that are
Yeah.
connected
Yeah.
by.
We've been meeting.
There's a little, you got a little growth of businesses around there right now,
Yeah.
right?
So-
Intricate Beauty on the corner where Greens used to be.
No, I got Bourbon Street.
Right. I don't know if those are election points.
I'm just saying that there are two. There are
Those-
two
It
establishments.
looks, yeah, they're
and,
nice.
and who would have? Speaking of bourbon bars, who would have thought that?
Right.
That we would have had two very nice establishments right there,
With
and
nice atmosphere.
and they provide entertainment.
Yeah.
Concerts that we're
Right.
having downtown.
Yeah.
Who would have thought that? Those two Fishman.
Well, I think
And I
that,
would say food, too, because if I drink
I
tea,
thought as far as you could talk about stuff like that if they're doing well and you're proud of them. But apparently, Starr thinks we shouldn't talk about it. So.
So it's gonna. What does that mean? Marketplace. I have hit my face on that microphone now twice. Apologies.
They just really. I don't think the building has a name yet.
Apparently, it does now.
It's been well.
Marketplace.
We keep calling it different names, and so Kim Rates, who is the administrative assistant here, she'll say, "So you're talking about Christian values?" And it's like Two Thrifty Girls, and she's like, "I'm just going to call it Marketplace on Morgan."
I like that because I think I would.
Two thrifty Christian value girls.
There you go.
With Who's
Put
Your
it all
Mouth.
together.
And Mollusk Cleaners.
Oh, there you go.
And it was a
Pizza
taxi
shop.
and a taxi cab.
Yep.
Really?
There were like 24 businesses. Kevin Hart has it all listed out.
Yes, he
on what you
does.
would have. Yeah.
Yeah, he does.
So anyway, that building is being kind of gutted, and we'll go in.
Right now it is. It's already started.
And we'll have an architect go in and start preparing drawings for what that can be. It's kind of a challenging building because it has a lot of different floor elevations.
Is that what? Yeah, levels. I
Yeah,
guess
so
it's-
you'll walk along and all of a sudden.
and it's really long as you walk by through there.
It is. There's a loading dock area that's like 4 foot tall
Yeah.
in one area. You transition. You really do transition at least probably 6 times
Oh, I
in
would
that
say
building
so,
as you
yeah.
walk through it. So trying to figure out.
Does it have concrete floors too? Still,
It
or-
does
yeah.
on the back, but the
Okay.
front seems to have a
there's-
little bit of crawl space.
Yeah, and kind of
Oh.
in the middle, there's like on the north side and south side, there's concrete, but in the middle is wood.
I always
So
want. I feel like
it's-
that building looks like it originally was like more than one building, and then it all just got cobbed together. But I don't think so because the loading dock in the back is part of the building.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's exciting though. That's fun.
And then our last piece was Kyle wanted to talk about stormwater.
Kyle loves to talk about stormwater.
The exciting
Yeah.
stuff.
Well,
of
and
stormwater.
as I
And
said before, it's a necessary thing. Like people don't want to think about where their stormwater. It's not my stormwater.
Once it crosses that line,
Right.
it's over.
And Mayor, how many detention ponds did we have when you took office?
You know, I think we had 2. Well, they were the south end of Wilson Estates.
Yeah.
And now I think we have 12,
Something like that. 12 or 14, something.
something like that.
And that is
So
a good thing. Why?
Yeah, we just
I
never.
mean, to explain, because
Well,
most people don't know what,
So
what
a
the world
perfect
happens.
example. Last week we had rain.
Yes.
6 inches of rain.
Goodness
And you know what
sakes,
didn't happen?
What?
We didn't flood the south end of Memorial Park.
Well, my county road did, so.
Well, but I think that's because we continue to intercept more water, and it
Meaning, it
controls
is
it.
part of the infrastructure of the
Yeah,
of any municipality that as it rains, right? I mean, it's helping to carry the rainwater away.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And,
I mean,
and
right? Isn't
we
that
had
the gist of it?
we had one property owner that we've been in conflict with, let's call it, for
Roiled.
years, and we said something about stormwater. It's a utility. We're having to manage it, and they said, "Hey, it's their fault. They built downstream from us." It's like, no,
I think
that's
that
not
was
fair.
the mentality, like
I think
common
it was.
mentality for a while, which I can understand. But
yeah, and I think that
as we put more and more people on the pressure of it, you know what I mean?
we've figured out, and there was we had another retention pond, which was up in Flat Rock Village area. So I think we've just learned that if we incorporate stormwater management in the project at the front end, we end up with a lot less problems on the back end. And so that's
Which
been a
is
good
not,
thing.
I mean, just in my personal experience, that's not an uncommon thing for a municipality to do. It's common.
Well, I think that we're
But
realistically.
also, I would just say, like, if it were, affecting my property that I owned, I also probably would have an issue with it, just to be completely
that
transparent.
right there is the art of working with Starr.
Well,
I just so you know that if it were this side, I'd make this argument. If it was this side, I'd make that argument. Okay. No, and I get it. I do. I understand it. It does. There's a lot of times that it does add cost to the project on the front end. But
meaning what? To be passed on to the taxpayers?
well, no, not necessarily. Like in like the Boulders,
Okay.
that project,
Yeah.
we put 3 ponds in there, and those are just part of the development. And the crazy thing is, when you build it, those daggone ponds cost more money. But when you're wanting to build your house, you want to build it with looking over the water because that has more value. So it's got pluses and minuses, but you're just seeing it more and more in everything we're doing. And again, when the governor came in and said, "Hey, we're going to cut, and we're going to cut back," that just took those funds that we used for stormwater management we just used them out of the general fund, and then now they're gone, and all of a sudden it's like, oh, the stormwater didn't go away. Now we
So
have
what
to
do you do?
we have to add a fee.
You do.
Well, again, it's a painful situation. Kyle and I are both in the same situation, which is at the state level, somebody says, "Hey, we're going to save everybody money," and in that same conversation, they say, "Oh no, by the way, here's where you can charge these people to make up for the money," and it's like, man, that sure does seem disingenuous because you're going to look like the guy on the white horse that says, "Hey,
Yeah.
looky
Yeah.
here, I'm a great guy." And by the way, you guys can't exist without it. So here's a way to.
I was going to
implement
say,
this.
you can, I mean, it's a fact of living. And also, I think there's always issues when you have like the city growth towards the county,
Oh yeah.
especially in a small community like ours, which I understand. I really do understand that.
Well, and again, it adds to
Do
those
you feel-
conversations.
But you don't, do you feel like, I mean, it's not ever been, has it ever been the city's mission to push out there?
No, we know that to get the numbers we need, there will be a certain amount of push, but we have implemented programs and been dedicated to the implement of programs to continue to go back in where we've torn down stuff or where we've had to rebuild. But so you look at the transfer station, where is it going? Is it going out in the county? No, it's going back in the city where the Laker building used to be. The Graham School building, what are we doing there? Well, we're reusing it to put houses back on. Now, there are those people who say, you know, oh, it'd be a great place for a pocket park. Well, we don't, in Rushville, Indiana, we don't need 9 pocket parks.
no.
We just need the parks we have, and it keeps us from having to go out into the county to spread. We will, to grow, to become what I would consider the size we need to make our own decisions, we will have to get more growth. But I think that we owe it to our heritage and to our neighbors to say we're going to try to do that as responsibly as we possibly can. And so that's why you see us having, you know, a kind of a, it's not really a land bank, but the ability to resell property to get it back on the tax rolls so that houses can be built on it, so that the old Haven School gets redeveloped into housing, so that.
Because otherwise those things sit, right?
Yeah,
If there's no initiative to...
So I think we spend a decent amount of money to try to make sure that we do as little urban or sprawl sprawl as we possibly
Which
can.
also, that is, I mean, just a topic, first of all, that I could go on and on
Well,
about. But it's happening, and it's happening everywhere, and it's affecting small communities.
Well, if you look at it, and obviously this all weighs into the, see the school making their morphing moves of what they're doing. But
I would just like to say as a side note, if anybody would want to buy a building like that and make it into a roller rink, I personally feel like you could make $1 billion out of a roller rink. Would you go? Would you take your kids, Kyle?
At least once or twice till
Okay.
I'd say at your age there might be a hip in.
Not me. I'm way younger than you.
Oh, my
Not Kyle, though. I'm not way younger than Kyle.
I'm just going to tell you, I made it up the steps today.
Okay.
You took
I
the
took the
elevator.
elevator. I'm still healing.
I think
But
back
let's
on
also mention, sorry, Kyle, no, we're going to mention this first, that I almost had a panic attack in the elevator that's honestly,
It's slow.
you didn't put any of, there wasn't a big investment in this building because it is so slow and so tiny.
Well, and this is sarcastic because I have to say that or people think I'm serious. It's a fitness thing we do around here.
my
We make the elevator take 50 seconds between floors, and so people say we're just taking the steps.
I just like when it opens, Kim was right there and I was like, I thought I was getting ready to freak out. Okay, Kyle, what do you want to talk about?
Well, I was
It's
going to
real
say
life.
back on with talking about population and stuff, and the city trying to grow a little bit. As a county, we were at what 20 in the '60s. We were 20,500 somewhere around there,
20 some. Yeah.
and now we're just under 17. So
Wild, isn't it?
So we've got to we're just trying to get back to where we once were.
I remember when we were talking about, when Matt Vance was the superintendent, and he was on, and we were talking about, basically butts and seats and the numbers and all that. Yeah.
And that's exactly what we need.
Yeah.
Is
Well, we should explain this to people because some people may not know that drives dollars, right? That's what gets you access to more funding.
Yep.
It's opportunity, just like anything. Money affords you opportunity.
In
to make
that
changes.
world, a kid is a certain amount of money.
Right.
And
right.
the more kids you have, and you talked about urban sprawl. You want to see crazy urban sprawl? Go up in the Fortville.
Oh, it's terrible. It makes me so sad.
It used to be that you could drive from Fortville down to, what is that, 234?
Yeah, yeah.
And there were fields open on both sides.
Oh, and not now.
And it is
It's wild.
Wild.
I get my nails done.
And
in
I think
Cordsville,
that for as much as we're looking in that panic situation of, oh my gosh, where do we come up with our kids? They're in the opposite because they're saying our schools aren't built for this capacity, and now we got to find a place to put them all. So it's you're gonna deal with adjustments.
Don't you feel too though that that is probably also cyclical. There have been times where people have moved out of the city to the suburbs. There have been times where people move, and even though it's not city and suburbs here, it kind of is.
Well, and I
County.
mean, you go into the Fishers District, there is Carmel. I mean, there is unbelievable amounts of construction going on.
Yeah.
That is amazing.
Do you
And I
think
don't know if
is-
it's amazing good or amazing
know,
bad.
me neither.
It's
I
just
don't know.
amazing.
That wraps up this episode of Unofficially Official. We thank you for listening. If you've enjoyed today's episode, you can subscribe to our show on your streaming platform of choice.